Yeah, I think it's important to have more than just a mask and ice
So
thing.
they need to wear no mask and get doxxed by leftists and have their families harassed if they're enforcing the laws of the United States. Brilliant plan.
Yeah, because they're causing...
No.
Wait, you're saying it's illegal, though.
No,
you just
that's
have
not
to-
what's
you
going
have to-
on. They're the ones surrounding federal buildings and doing everything they can to agitate federal officers. That's what leftists are doing. Have the trained local police do their f***ing job. Stop
Or
telling them
train
to stand
ICE
down.
better. Y'all got Trump elected and fell for a lot of lies.
So no
I
women
think
voted for Trump?
they did.
What lies? What lies did they fall for?
The America First, no more wars, the economy.
Where's the wars?
Well, Iran
So
and
is that a
stealing.
war?
I think when they say America First, they mean literally.
That's not my question. Is that a war?
Not technically, but they're getting ready
So
for a
there's
war.
no new wars?
Lots of money.
Yeah, is there
the
any
whole
new
point of
wars?
America.
Is there any new wars?
Technically, no.
Okay.
The money spent, all of that. That is what America First is. No one wanted that. No one asked for that.
But Trump said he wasn't going to engage America in new wars, and then went and made sure that to not engage America in new wars.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Okay, which new war?
I didn't say that. No, I'm saying the people saying, "Oh, I have to fight someone to prevent fighting someone." That's propaganda they've been using forever.
Okay, but what does that
Yeah.
have to do with no new wars?
Literally not getting involved and that we don't belong
There's
in.
no new wars under Trump. There's none. That's just a typical
Literally
talking
said,
point.
America First, meaning don't get involved in foreign that we have nothing to do
And
with.
Trump has mostly focused on domestic policy, especially
Like
illegal
what?
immigration. Like
Other
illegal
than immigration, what
you mean
has
one
he
of
done?
the major campaign promises that he did?
Yeah, and then he's
I know he's
doing
what a
it.
terrible f***ing guy. No new wars, and he focused on illegal
Did
immigration.
he
like
tell
he
everyone
said.
ahead of time that they were going to wear masks with no identification? No.
What you mean
and
hang on, with when it comes to ICE, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, his base is not upset by ICE.
Can you look that up?
Yeah, you can
I've
look
looked
up.
up
Yes,
all of
you can
this.
You can look up the divide.
I've looked it up. The majority of all people.
We're
are not
talking
cool.
about his base. How does MAGA
what
respond?
the 37% that still like him.
Yeah, his base. His
Yeah.
base responds very favorably to what's going on with ICE.
Okay, so like a third of the population.
And by the way, here's the thing. The susceptibility to propaganda is a fun one. You'll find the divide is, once again, mostly along sex lines. I'm so stunned. I'm so shocked that women get very emotional by the fact that you're going to have to, if you're actually enforcing the immigration policy of your country, separate families, like Joe Biden did.
That's okay.
Like Joe Biden did. And where
okay.
the f- were they? You're going to have to utilize your federal assets in order to remove illegal immigrants, just like Biden did. The only difference is these f***ers weren't out there when Biden was
Because
doing
he
that,
wasn't
or when
masked.
Biden was doing.
He
or
wasn't allowing
Obama.
masked people. Can you let me
Yes, they
explain
were allowing masked people. What are you talking
Joe
about?
Biden had ICE, not like face masks for COVID, but literally to cover their identity and won't
Like
respond
face
with a
masks
badge.
for COVID?
But when asked to identify yourself, like cops are supposed to do, law enforcement, they won't. They're coming out of vans in masks.
That's because
chasing people
leftists-
down the
that's
street,
because
going
leftists-
into houses
yeah.
without judicial warrants.
Okay, first of all, that's because leftists will dox their entire family and begin harassment campaigns against their families.
That doesn't put them above the law, does it?
First of all, they're not. Nobody's saying they're above the law. But guess what?
That is above
They
the law.
don't-
That's against the law.
No, it's not against the law. Show me the law.
They're the only.
I just had this debate with Brian Shapiro. Guess what we found out?
They
No.
have to identify themselves, which
No.
they don't.
No.
Literally, so yeah.
Federal officers only in some circumstances have to do that. That's one.
Can you look
The
that up?
second that you need to look at is the protocols for their safety, right? Safety is what matters here. If it's the
the
case
people of
that
your
a
eyes.
bunch of leftists are going to dox your entire family, put it on private websites and then public websites, which they were doing, and funding it from leftist organizations, and then they would harass the shit out of these guys' families, yeah, I'd hide my identity too.
Well,
I do
there's
have,
also.
you want me to look something up?
Yeah,
Okay.
but there's also
Hold on.
the.
Well,
Can I
let me, you
respond
asked,
real fast?
You asked me to look it up. Let me just give it really
But
quick.
there's also the safety of the people matter.
Okay, there is no federal law requiring agents to not wear masks. California did quite a bit later, or I guess recently, they passed a No Secret Police Act to ban federal agents from wearing masks
Under Newscomb.
that conceal their identity while on duty. But that's just California, and that's very recent.
I know that. I said identifying
But you said it's
themselves.
illegal.
I
They
said
are
not to
identifying
identify
themselves.
themselves when asked.
I can look that up
That's
too.
what I was talking about.
They're
Can I
in
take a pee
they're
break?
in
I'm sorry.
uniform.
Anyone can have a fake uniform. There's literally
they're
been people
rolling up-
arrested.
people are rolling
There
up
was
in tanks with fake uniforms.
Someone got arrested for impersonating a cop.
People
Hold on.
get
an
arrested
ICE
for
cop.
impersonating cops, yes.
So yeah, I think it's important to have more than just a mask and an ICE
So
thing.
they need to wear no mask and get doxxed by leftists and have their families harassed if they're enforcing the laws of the United States. Brilliant plan.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they're causing situations
typical
are
libtard
happening.
No.
Wait, you're
no,
saying it's illegal, though.
No,
Oh, you just
that's
have
not
to-
what's
you
going
have to-
on. The leftists are the ones causing the situation. They're the ones surrounding federal buildings and committing acts and doing everything they can to agitate federal officers. That's what leftists are doing. Tell me this. Why is it that local police officers inside of these various leftist states won't deploy the local police departments to these federal buildings in order to maintain peace and security? It's because the governors of these states and the local mayors of these states give them stand down orders so that the feds have to deal with them, knowing the feds aren't trained to do that. And so what they're doing is they're sparking incidences on purpose, and that's leftist.
No, I mean, but ICE is like cops are supposed to like if someone's irritated, what do they call it? The sorry, my dyslexia brain. They're supposed to, instead of causing more anger, they're supposed to
De-escalate?
De-escalate. Yeah, they're supposed to de-escalate.
Then have the trained local police do their job. Stop
or
telling
train
them to stand
ICE
down.
better. Like the people
ICE
that got
is not designed to do riot control.
It's not about riots.
Yes, it is.
The people who got weren't involved in riots. They
Bull.
went they to them,
Bull.
face, got on top
Both
of them.
of those. No,
grabbed
both
their
of those was confrontations at
Where was the
protests where these
riot?
people were going
if
out
you
of
go up to someone who's
That's
just standing there,
bullshit.
but they went up to
First
him.
of all, Renee was blocking off the road. She was told to move. She refused. She hit an ICE agent. She got
was
shot.
Moving.
Yeah, she
She got
moved her
shot for
car
moving.
into a
She
ICE
got
agent.
shot for moving.
No. Well, hold on. You're forgetting the part where
Yeah,
they
fucking
initially they wanted her to get out of the road, but then she was blocking the road, and then there were a couple different agents. He was approaching her, and he said to exit the vehicle. He was giving her a lawful order to exit the vehicle. Once you're being detained by law enforcement, you don't get to leave anymore. She was being detained.
The more,
Yes.
the,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
the Alex
If they hit
Petty
you with a
though.
car, you
They
do.
came up to him. He was just standing there.
No, the opposite. He went towards the officers after they had moved a woman back. He moved towards the officers.
All he did was shield her from Mace. He didn't go up to them to fight.
Guess what? You're not allowed to
that. He
interfere.
meant like
You're not allowed to
somebody
interfere
getting
with
maced in
federal.
the
You're
face?
not allowed to interfere with cops in the middle of doing their
that's
job.
not a sentence.
You
Beating
know what
someone
really
up.
stops all of that? If you just let the ICE go get the illegals and throw them out like they're supposed to.
I've got to pee really bad.
But no, we can't do that because that's mean.
I just think they should get better training, and there should be consequences.
But my question is,
Better
before these two incidences, the two things occurred, I guess the genesis of what was happening there is that these ICE officers were conducting lawful investigations. They were doing the baseline. They were protesting their baseline law enforcement activity, which was apprehending illegal immigrants. Right? Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Yeah.
So like Renee Good and, well, I guess Alex Peretti, that happened after Renee Good. So you could argue he was in the streets because he was upset about Renee Good. In any case, you acknowledge that prior to Renee Good, she was upset with their lawful conduct, which was apprehending illegal immigrants. So why was she
I think
interfering?
that's stupid.
Yeah, but why was she interfering with lawful law enforcement operations?
I mean, I think because of like Obama deported of people.
Right, it's
Clinton.
completely
No,
political.
Yeah,
I think it's
exactly.
the way they're going about it.
Oh, what's the difference?
The mass, the chasing.
They had masks then.
Because
They didn't chase
Because
people
they're
down the
getting
street.
doxxed.
I'm gonna tell you-
They didn't arrest people
Yes, they
from the
did.
works that were citizens.
Listen.
Even though they
Oh my
just.
God, this is crazy. I grew up in California. Home Depots got raided constantly by ICE. When I was a kid, they were getting raided by ICE. Here's how it used to work. You'd go pull up in front of a
Were
Home
they
Depot.
wearing masks?
You'd pull, and you'd pull up
No,
in front
they
of a Home
weren't.
Depot
there's
and you'd
no
go,
law against
yeah,
it.
you'd go
No, but,
3.
Like, of
SWAT
course-
teams wear masks too. They would go 3, and 3 would jump in the back. You take them, they do your day labor, and you drop them back off in front of the Home Depot by 5. That's how people used to do things all the time. ICE knew all about that. They would go do raids on Home Depots. They would do raids in department stores. They do raids at Taco. Hell, when I was a kid, they did a massive task force raid on tons and tons and tons of burger joints like McDonald's and Taco Bell, and we couldn't get hamburgers for like a week because they arrested all the employees. Nobody gave a. They only give a now because it's Trump, and that means it's fascism.